Gaston Leroux wrote a very famous novel, the novel Le Fantôme de l'Opéra, which was such a success that even years later was adopted by other artists, composers. Mainly, we are talking about Andrew Lloyd Webber. But before we go to Andrew Lloyd Webber composition, I would like to share with you two quotes that I think identify or give very much the meaning that we would like to bring to to our session today. Gaston Leroux created a very nice concept called the Angel of Music, and on that under that name of the Angel of Music, he and I am quoting now part of his novel where he says that no one ever sees the angel, but he is heard by those who are meant to hear him. I think that really identifies not only to those who are on one side singing or playing music, but also on the other side, those who actually love or like music very much and, in consequence identify themselves with music. Another quote that I would like to share with you is that this angel that I was just telling you about, sometimes this angel, the angel of music, of course, leans over the cradle. You know, we are talking about little babies. So this angel of music approaches little babies, and this is how these little prodigies start playing at age of 6 better than a man of 50, which you must admit is very wonderful. That angel of music, we all are very, very lucky that he has touched some people to create music or actually sing, or maybe we have heard him when we hear the music played by a singer or a musician. And with that being said, we would like to share with you, because I was just telling you that it was not only Gaston Leroux who wrote this very famous novel, the Le Fantôme de l'Opéra, but also that Andrew Lloyd Webber took this as one of his most important creations. Of course, I am talking about the Phantom of the Opera, very easy, very well known by many of you to many others. And I also believe, or we also believe, that the best way to start this cycle of programs of opera, Wheel of Singing, is to start, of course, with music. I am not going to tell you what we are about to sing. We are about to sing just a small part of this, but I know that if you are familiar with this creation by Andrew Lloyd Webber, you will be able to identify what this beautiful part is about. So let's get to it. No more talk of darkness, forget his wide-eyed fears. I'm here, nothing can harm you. My words will warm and calm you. Let me be your freedom. Let daylight dry your tears. I'm here with you, beside you, to guard you and to guide you.
I kiss every waking moment. Turn my head with talk of summer time. Say you need me with you now and always. Say is true. That's all I ask of you.
Of course, we are very sure that you identified what duet this is. We will not give more about it, but we wanted to start by sharing it. And now that we are just jumping into the introduction, I would like to quickly say that I am Ricardo and I will be hosting this series of programs along with my co host, who will introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I am Katya and I will be singing. That's it.
She will, for the most part, she will be doing the hard part of the programs. So I'm pretty happy with that solution that we found for these programs. And I would like to tell you that we have worked on putting together this cycle of programs. The number is still to be determined, but it will be a minimum of 10 weekly programs where we will be sharing with you some very interesting anecdotes, tips, history. Some of those are also facts, and trying to answer to some of the most common questions that come to our people's minds when they think about singing, and in specific when singing opera. But we don't want to jump into details of what is going to be coming for the next programs. We would like to start now jumping in very quickly into what the main topic of today is. As you may have noticed, we have called it Enchanted by the Music, and I wanted also to start by making reference to the Angel of Music in the novel of Gaston Leroux, because you may it may be your case if you are actually in music, or it may be your case if you love music, that whenever you listen to a piece that you really love, it's like if for a second you were disconnected from this earth, from this ground, from this reality, and you could be somewhere else. You are, but really you're not there. The music takes you away. And sometimes maybe people look at you and say, well, he's very deep in his thoughts, maybe he's concerned, and what we are actually doing is that we are playing our favorite melody in our heads. Or maybe you are taking a bus and you are just moving your foot, and people may think that you are desperate when you're actually moving your foot to the rhythm of Il Barbiere di Siviglia by Gioacchino Rossini. That's what may make things a little awkward sometimes, especially for singers. But we would like to talk today about the emotions that we feel, or that music makes us feel. I would like to start by asking Katya if she could share first tell us a little about what music comes to your head when you are in a given mood, in a given state of mind, or even a state of soul. You know, sometimes when we are sad, we have in our minds music that can be slow, sad, the sad music itself. But it does not need to be a negative emotion, right? It can also be a very positive emotion, and I tend to believe that that would be your case, given the pieces that you can sing. But why don't you start by sharing with us what would be one case of music that really touches you?
Oh God, I think I have a very interesting, curious story about my approaches to the music. Um, for example, I was like 10 or 12 years old when I heard a song that I haven't heard consciously, but when I heard that, I recognized it because my mother heard it when she was pregnant, waiting for me.
And what song is that?
Juan Gabriel, Amor Eterno.
Ah, very, very famous song by Juan Gabriel. So that means that you're actually going
Yeah.
to sing us that?
Eres la tristeza de mis ojos que lloran en silencio por tu adiós. Me miro en el espejo y veo mi rostro, el tiempo que he sufrido por tu adiós.
Nice, very nice. And what comes to your mind when you happen to sing or maybe listen to that song again?
Um, I know it is a sad song because of the lyrics, because of the text. You know, it's talking about a lost love. But for me, it doesn't have the same meaning because of my own experience. It makes me feel in between my mother's arms. I feel caressed. I feel warm. It's a very beautiful. I mean, it's not the purpose of the song, for sure, but in my experience, that's the feeling.
And sorry, just to call your attention for people who are watching the video, I am now sharing a very beautiful picture that I took a good number of years ago. It is taken from the Sala Silvestre Revueltas at the Conservatorio Nacional de Música in Mexico City. It was a presentation, or it was a concert version of Nabucco, of which I am not going to give you more details, but I wanted to share it with you on this very first video because we know that the conservatorios, not only the Conservatorio Nacional de Mexico in Mexico City, but the conservatorios and the Mexica and some other music schools around the country are where singers and many musicians are born, or when they are for the very first time in touch with, well, with what will be their passion, and that they will pursue till the end of, maybe till the end of their lives, hopefully, right? So that's the reason why I am putting that photo on the screen. We have, of course, the singers at the front, we have the orchestra, the director, and the chorus at the bottom. So people who know Mexico City and the Conservatorio Nacional de Música will be familiar with that. But okay, so let's talk a little more about music. What about music when you feel like very happy, very cheerful? Is there any melody from Rossini maybe that comes to your mind, or when you are this very enthusiastic, like you have lots of energy? What melody is it that comes to your mind?
Um, Partita number 3 from Bach. It's so bright, it's so um, glittering. It's like
And
sparkling.
do you sing it complete, or just have certain passages in your mind? Ah.
No, complete. But I love that part.
Okay, that's the one you keep in your mind. Is there any of those songs or pieces or music that you like? Is there any of those an actual aria from a given opera, or you usually have in your mind only music?
Oh my god. Well, talking about music, I would say that the Nutcracker from Tchaikovsky has a special place in my heart. I was 3 years old when I saw um, the Nutcracker Christmas, obviously. My favorite season of the year, of course. And I fell in love with the music. I grew up in within a family where we heard music every single day and very different kinds of genres of music. I heard zarzuela, I heard opera, pasodobles, boleros, different kinds of music, but uh, the Nutcracker touched me in a very special way. Um, I I was very young, 3 years old, but I felt that connection, and with me there was that feeling of I need this in my life. I need to to feel this forever, for the rest of my life. I didn't know what was I feeling, but that magic that the Nutcracker produced in me, it made me desire to want it for forever, for my entire life. So it has a very special place, and I'm trying to collecting nutcrackers and all that stuff because it's one of the most happiest memories in my childhood and in my life. For opera, it's like maybe more difficult to choose. It's like a mother that is asked, "Who's your favorite son?" Oh my God.
Dozens, right?
I
That's a
don't
tough
know.
question. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's not true. Maybe it's not true, but that's the most common answer.
For instance, what comes
But
to your mind when you think of? I'm not sure if people may be aware of this piece, but for Glitter and Be Gay, you know the role sung by Candid.
sure.
That is that is an explosion of emotions, but people sometimes never don't realize that the beginning is supposed to be sad, right? Because she says, "Glitter and be gay, that's the part I play." And sometimes when the singer is very is not only of course sing with her soprano voice, but also an actor may even represent, "That's the part I play." No, almost like weeping, and you have to jump from that supposed sadness into the cheerful, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And sometimes there is a change of mood, and what people may not be very well aware is that sometimes you may get up that day so very full of energy, so full of exciting, so you don't feel like very committed to the first part of Candida saying, "So glitter and became, that's the part I played." Because in fact, inside of you, you really feel like an explosion of happiness that day, right? And it may be the contrary, that you feel a little sad. There are things going on in your life, and you have to sing something that is very, very cheerful, and something is just not, like connecting, because it may happen to singers. But how do you manage that? Has it ever happened to you?
No, I really try to make every every piece of music of my own. I think like human beings, we have um, an interesting quantity of emotions and memories where you can take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and identify yourself. Once I heard that music is a kind of monster that has the skill, the power to connect you with the composer state of mind. It can be done through the notes, through the melody, through the lyrics, and I've always tried to connect with what the music is telling me. I know that we all have felt sad sometime in our lives, so I try to remember how I felt. I try to understand what's the composer telling me in those lines, and I make the music part of me, and I give part of me to the music.
And given that we are Mexican, we are exposed to Mexican music. Well, of course, you have just sung Amor Eterno by Juan Gabriel, that everybody in Mexico knows about him, and in other countries. But also there is music that we may call, or at least from a lyrical singer's perspective, it's called more fine music, with composers as Tatanacho, Esparzateo, Maria Grever, Agustin Lara, those composers that are usually taken to concerts by lyrical singers. Is there a song in the Mexican repertory that you think you have made yourself for some reason? Because I was thinking, as for in my case, two songs that I learned recently when I started working on the 50 music postcards that are a separate playlist in this same channel. When I started working on those, I remember that I started working on La Llorona and Peregrina, which I recall have heard incidentally somewhere. But when I had the chance of having those in my hands, I really felt immediately identified because this is the folklore of my country. This is culture that I directly understand. Now, it is not Italian, it is not German, it is not French, it is not a foreign country, it is not a foreign composer. Now, it's somebody who I can relate very easily. So I was thinking of those two, and in fact, I have to confess that I cannot sing. Uh, Sometimes I cannot sing either of the two complete without feeling carried by the emotion. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my God, yes.
difficult to sing. When I think of Peregrina, for instance, when I reach the moment and I know that that particular phrase relates to the love that this lady had for this man, it's when everything in my mind crashes. Does it happen to you with any of those songs written by our Mexican composers?
Sure. Well, let me tell you this. When I was a little girl, every time that I watched a Disney movie, in the very moment I became a character of the movie and I started to acting. I mean, the film was running and I started to act and to repeat the dialogues and all that stuff because I think that I have that actress within me since a long time ago. So um, and I try to do the same now that I sing. But in special, I say that, oh God, Despedida from Maria Grever. Many times I've been singing and I can't finish the song because I'm in tears.
That one is tough, and I would agree
It
to
hurts
that.
a
Let
lot.
me see if I
It hurts
recall.
a
How
lot.
does it start? Una triste sonrisa. Yeah, it goes like that. Una triste
Una triste
sonrisa
sonrisa.
tu labio dibujó y una indiscreta
Una discreta
lágrima de
lágrima
mis ojos
de mis ojos
cayó, tu
cayó.
mano entre la mía, enlazadas las dos, de tener pretendía nuestra separación y sin decirnos nada nos dijimos adiós. You can go on.
Ay, en mi cruel soledad fatal, viene tu imagen a mí, sensual. Tengo delirios por verte, siento temor de perderte. Vuelve otra vez a mi lado, no te alejes de mí, di que no has olvidado el amor que te di.
Yeah, that song by Maria Grever is just amazing, and what and
Oh, it
yeah,
breaks my
and one
heart.
also has to be in very good vocal conditions to sing that because this is one of the very few songs that is demanding, vocally at least. The other ones tend to be easier
It
to
is.
sing. maybe except for Jurame. Jurame could be demanding sometimes. But now that you mention it, the Despedida, the farewells, when people have to say goodbye, has given room for many composers to write a dozen songs about it. Of course, Mexico has had a large part on it, talking about how many times we have left our love go so far away, and sometimes the opposite, how we are actually willing to keep it. Is there any song that you recall or aria that for keeping that person, keeping that memory, or keeping that someone with you?
Mm, not. It's not an area about keeping someone, but it's an area about
Oh,
losing it all.
which one is that?
Um, Let me see. It's Cleopatra. Piangerò
Of
la
course,
sorte mia.
Piangerò la sorte mia.
Oh my God. Piangerò, piangerò la sorte mia. Si crudele tanto ria finché vita in petto avrò. This part, I will cry while I'm still alive. It's too
And,
strong. It's
yeah,
killing
and
me.
many
Sing
people
it.
sometimes don't realize about how really hard it is sometimes to sing something, because now that you are sharing that she actually feels and has lost everything, you feel carried away by that emotion, and that brings, by the way, brings to my memory the song of the same name by Andrew Lloyd Webber in Cats, exactly memory, because now it is Grisabella who feels, well, who was part of her group. She decided to leave, to have a life herself. But when she comes back, old, sick, poor, with nothing, and moreover rejected by her group, that's when you think of all of that, and you take that into and to put it into words, as this is the case of memory, then that's when the melody makes sense, because many people may recall the general tune of the melody, like la 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 la. But that melody, if you put the words in there, it's really very
It
hard. And
changes.
of course, in the much more higher notes, but which requires all the power of your voice. When you say touch me, the hard part for me is not to say touch me, not because it is it is
No.
not even a difficult note. The problem is the intention, because you say touch me, it's so easy to leave me, etc. But you have to put all your heart, not only your voice, because if it would be only the voice, that's the easy part, but it has to be the emotion. So touch me, it's so easy to leave me all alone with a memory. It's really hard. That's what came to my mind.
It's exhausting. I mean, some people say, so you sing, but what else do you do? um, Try it. It's not that easy. Totally, it's
And it
not
is not
that
when you
easy.
really read the text, when you really understand the overall situation of what you're actually singing. because anybody can stand in front of a group of people and start singing whatever without feeling anything. But as we were just mentioning in the song Despedida by Maria Grever, if you besides having understood the lyrics by Maria Grever, if you happen to be sad that day, I am pretty sure your voice will crack at some point, and it will be the emotion. Maybe it is
Yeah.
not a problem of your vocal technique. It's a thing that the emotion carries you away. That's example I was sharing with you with Peregrina, because it is not a difficult song, but for me it is very difficult to keep the voice placed when I feel the emotion. It is like this is the technique or the voice, and this is emotion struggling to carry it away. So that's for me very. That's why for me it's very hard to sing that song. Because I like I like the melody in general. It's a very nice melody. But when I think that he knows that she's actually going to leave, my lord, I really cannot sing it without having a knot in my throat. So
Yeah, it's a very complicated work to keep a balance between your emotions, because you can't sing like you just mentioned. You can't sing without emotion, without feeling, without connecting with your music and your audience. But you have to control it at the same time. So it is exhausting. And if you are singing an entire concert, and first you sing an oratorio, and then you sing an aria, and then you sing something from Maria Greber, and your emotions come, and it's complicated. It's exhausting because you have to pass all the moods within a time, and that kills you slowly.
and it happens to think you end up being tired because you've given your energy, not only your voice but in your body, and at the same time you feel satisfied. But by the end of the day, that maybe
Of
you will
course.
sleep 10 or 12 hours instead of 8, because you really end up tired.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, it's a very complete and complicated work. It's your mind, your soul, your emotions, your voice, your body. You don't sing with your throat. You use your entire body. So it's a very
Yeah,
complete
it is.
exercise
It is.
in all
As
sense.
maybe as we are approaching the end of today's video, and I can see that at this point in time, two people are connected, and maybe if they would like to type in the chat if there is a song that means something special to you. Maybe we know it and maybe we can sing it. Maybe because there are many songs. So if anyone who is watching this live, sorry for the people who will see just the recording of it at a later time. But for those who are actually at this point in time watching it, is there a song that you would like to share with us? And that if we are fortunate enough, maybe we know it, and maybe if not sing it full, at least sing a part of it. Let's see. Since there is a delay between what I'm saying and what people are actually watching on the live version of YouTube, I am giving a couple of minutes to see. Because if they don't want to hear or to share anything, we will end up sharing whatever we want, right?
I'm gonna sing anyway
so, so
because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
So
I
let's
do.
make it participative. Let's see if they would like to share something, because we have talked about it from our perspective, our emotions, our life. Maybe, as I was telling you, I know that the song La Llorona currently or in the past couple of years means a lot to, in particular, to mothers or to parents in general, because it was part of a very famous movie, Coco. You know that anything that Disney plays becomes super famous. So many have seen their children learn that their first songs they've actually sung, and that is not a reggaeton, is La Llorona. And if they happen to know that La Llorona is one of the most beautiful folklore songs that we have in our country, I know that those parents will keep that song in their minds. Even if their children do not, they will recall their young son when he used to sing La Llorona. Uh, I think people watching. Oh, when I invited them to post something, they both disconnected. So I think they really didn't want to share anything. So we will end up doing whatever we want. So, what other, at least a part or a piece, would you like to share with us that has a deep meaning, emotionally speaking, for you?
It has a deep meaning. It's a part. It's a piece from the Phantom of the Opera too. Remembering how we started our program. Um, I'm about to cry. Um, I lost my father like 11 years 11 years ago, and wishing you were somehow here again has a special meaning for me because it is the song that Christine sings to his father, the one who taught her the music, the one who approached her to the angel of music. So let me breathe a little bit and I'll do it.
Okay.
You were once my one companion. You were all that mattered. You were once a friend and father. Then my world was shattered. Wishing you were somehow here again. Wishing you were somehow near. Sometimes it seemed if I just dreamed, somehow you would be here. Wishing I could hear your voice again, knowing we must say goodbye. Try to forgive, teach me to live, give me the strength to try. No more memories, no more silent tears, no more gazing across the wasted years. Help me say goodbye.
Thank you very much for sharing this very emotional moment that has so much a deep meaning with you. If you allow me, I think I could share at least a part because I was thinking and I tried to reconnect with this friend. It came to my mind when I decided to start the 50 music postcards cycle that I had a very good friend when I first got interested in opera, when I met my teacher, that I have very clear in my mind that there was only one friend that kept encouraging me. We will talk about that in later programs, but because there is always many people who tries to discourage you. But I recall him that he was always encouraging me to go ahead, and if I committed an error, to retry and retry and retry again. And I recall that he asked me that by then he had heard a sung by in the Olympics, and it was sung by Jose Carreras and I forgot her name, Reichman, and that song was Amigos para Siempre, and he asked me that if I ever improved, that I could sing that song. Truth is that I never improved, but the other truth is that I now have the score. So if you allow me, I think I could sing a small part of it, and then we can wrap up. And you will also realize that when I stand up, I have all my scores to my right. I have a good number of them, and since I have many of them already, I have problems in trying to recall where is everything located. So if you give me 30 additional seconds, I will find that score and sing that piece for the to as I would like to say gratitude to the friend who always encouraged me. I don't have to say a word to you. You seem to know whatever good I'm going through. Seems like I have known you forever. You can look into my eyes and see the way I feel and how the world is treating me. Maybe I have known you forever. Amigos para siempre, you'll always be my friend. Amigos para sempre means a love that cannot end. Friends for life, not just a summer or a spring. Amigos para siempre. I feel you near me even when we are apart. Just knowing you are your equal can warm my heart. Friends for life, not just a summer or a spring. Amigos para siempre. Well, I would like to apologize if not everything went well, but I really should have managed emotions better. I really have in my mind this friend of mine in front of me, and it's hard for me to sing. Okay, so and we're
We are
humans,
humans. We are
right?
singers, but we are humans.
And I really don't know if I will ever be able to see him again. And so hopefully one day he will accidentally run into this video and realize that I did something at least a little better of what I used to do when we were students. Well, that is, I think, that is part of what we were willing to share with you this day. We are planning a good number of programs coming ahead. We will be doing our best to keep these Tuesday afternoons sessions if you would like to join again. If not, as time passes by, you can watch the recordings of them. I really want to thank people who will or who joined at least for a few minutes live, and I would also like to thank the people who will see it later. Once it is recorded, people will start getting access to it. That would be my closing words. Katya, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Sure, Ricardo. Thank you very much for the invitation to be part of this project. I think that it is important to approach to the people that is interested in listening us, not just singing, but sharing our feelings, our doubts, um, our questions, our experiences. So I'm very grateful for this experience, and thank you everyone for
Next
being with us.
program, we will be talking about So You Want to Be a Singer? And we will talk about topics as you know how many years you need to study, you know how many hours you need to rehearse. You know that you need to learn languages, right? That's what we will be talking about next week. Thanks everyone. Thank you very much and hope to see you some other time. Thanks.